What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, boys and girls, we are on Gran Turismo 7 as we are doing our very first video on the game. Now, after playing this game for about 4 to 5 hours, we finally had unlocked sport mode, and that is the one mode that I was really looking forward to. I kind of wanted to see what they had done differently with the daily races and just how the multiplayer aspect worked on this game, and also just to see if the servers worked properly. Now, before we jump into the gameplay, if you guys really enjoy the content, feel free to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if we hit 150 likes on this video, absolutely nothing is going to happen. And if you guys want to catch more Gran Turismo 7 content, feel free to hit that red subscribe button down below, turn into a great button, and let's jump into the video. As we now jump into our very first race here around the high-speed ring for Daily Race A, we were given 3 different cars. We were given the Fit, the Aqua, and a third car that I just cannot remember off the top of my head, but these were the 3 cars that were given to us here for Daily Race A, as we decided to start off in the rear, try to see if we can work our way up through the pack and have a little bit of fun here now. So as we get our 3, 2, 1, away we go as we get a very great start. Not sure if that's due to the fact that this was a hybrid system and we're just able to just get a rocket of a launch, but we get a really great start, gain 3 positions, and run immediately into the rear of the South African Akai, and try to give him a little boost here, but decides to back out of the move as we now make our way down the long bank corner of turn number 1. We stay on the outside here as we get a really great run coming off the corner and try to sneak it onto the inside of Agent 99, but due to the last minute maneuver right there, I just could not make that work. But as we head into the first braking zone, we gain a little bit of time on the guys up ahead as they decided to use each other as brakes, just due to the fact that they forgot that there was a brake pedal to the left and they actually had to slow down on a couple of these corners. But lucky for us, we were able to gain a ton of time on them, and unfortunate for them, they lost a lot of time, but they still kept fighting as we make our way down to the second sector here. You can see a couple cars go a bit wide off the corner, go straight into the guardrail as we abuse the track limits there coming off the turn number 4, I believe. And as we head our way through the end of the first lap, Pastor Maldonado up ahead gets a 1.5 second penalty, and that's not a name that you want to see right ahead of you, especially on a racing game. Seeing Pastor Maldonado just spells for trouble here, and once we catch up to him, it's going to be very scary. 5 seconds or 10 seconds or however long we are around him, because who knows what's going to end up happening here. But finishing our first lap, now leading our way into the second lap, we stay right behind the gentleman from Bahrain. And as we head back into the first corner, we stay in the slipstream, just release the throttle for a bit as we head into the first corner. Not sure exactly what I did that. I think I just got a bit scared, a little bit worried. Thought that we had to let go of the throttle a little bit going to the long corner, but due to the banking, it actually allows the car to turn fairly well through the corner, even though these aren't, you know, your typical race cars. And luckily, when you go into that corner, you can keep it wide open. You just have to take a very wide entrance and then just kind of do a little cut into the inside, get a very late apex, and you should be fine to keep it full throttle through the entire first corner. But as we make our way now through the second sector, we were able to just gain a ton of time here as James gets a really bad corner going to the right hand side. But unfortunately for us, if we get involved into some of his shenanigans as he gets into the grass, loses a lot of traction, goes very wide, gets a ton of understeering. Lucky for us, we were the car on the outside that basically stopped him from going too wide and making contact with that guardrail, and we lost a lot of time due to that. But luckily, Maldonado had a service penalty and we were able to gain that 4th place position away from him, as we now set our focus on James coming out of the final corner here, leading us down the very long straight for the second time, leading us into lap number 3. So as we make our way down the straight, this was a great time to kind of just get some, I guess, knowledge about the game on Slipstream. Not sure yet exactly how strong the slipstream is on this game. I mean, it felt like it was really strong, but it also could have been the fact that we were able to tune our car up to a really good top end speed. So not sure if James just didn't have the right tuning or the right upgraded parts on his car where he can keep up with top end speed. But when we were right behind him, it seemed like on the straight we were able to gain a ton of time towards the end of the straight. And that's primarily where you would get majority of the top end speed, especially when you're right behind somebody in the slipstream. So maybe when we get faster cars and a little bit closer tuning aspects and everything like that, we can kind of see exactly how the effects are with the slipstream. But for now, we just kind of have to wait. But let's get into some side-by-side racing here with the Bahrainian of RHD. We let's keep it onto the outside, heading to the right corner or into the left corner. Just let him get ahead of us, but we try to get a really great exit on the straight leading us into the tunnel. And coming to the final two corners, we kept it onto the right-hand side so that we can kind of keep him pinched down, especially on this last corner. If you can keep someone pinched down here and just ruin the momentum, you should be able to get a really good drive off of the corner and get a really great run down the straight. And that's exactly what ended up happening here, as RHD just could not hold the inside going into the final corner, and we were able to just sweep it around the outside and gain second place away from him. So focusing now on the German right ahead of us, as we have 1 lap left on this race. We take the optimal line into turn number 1 again. That wide entrance, kind of cut it back into the inside off the final corner, and then just sweep it out wide when you come out of the corner, and making our way into the first braking point of the lap. We're able to nail it perfectly here as we gain a ton of time again on the German. And if we keep this up here, we're gonna put in the fastest lap time, and not only that, we're gonna definitely catch up to Moise up ahead, and we'll see if we can try to take away that lead and take away that win at the end of this race in dramatic fashion, of course. But as we come into the second sector, which is basically the windy bits of the track, we attempt to keep it on the apex, just make sure that we hit all of our marks. And lucky for us, we do, but so did Moise. Moise was able to get actually a really great exit off of that corner, although he did go a bit wide. And as we come down to the final two corners, we basically just have to make sure that we keep it with full or as much throttle as we can, just hold the momentum, because that's basically what those final two corners are. It's just a momentum corner. If you can get a really great run, it really sets you up here for this very, very long straight. You can make a lot of time here. But let's come out of the final corner now, leading our way down the straight for the final time. Unfortunately for us, we're gonna run out of time, and we're gonna finish this race in second place right behind Moise. And to be honest, I'll take it, especially after starting off in last, but I definitely want to see if we can go for a win, so we're gonna try it again on a second race. Now as we jump into our second race here, again we elected to not put in a qualifying time, and that is going to put us in dead last as we wait for our 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So once again, we get a really great start as we're able to overtake already 4 people in the span of about 10 seconds. Actually, we're going to get a 5th person here, and not quite sure exactly why the starts happen like that for us. I'm not sure if just people in this lobby had not tuned their car or just put in the right parts on the car to get a really great launch off the start, but for some reason every single start that we had on this race, we were able to just pull away and just get a really great start, get some overtakes done, and just be faster than everybody else. So maybe it was just the fact that they hadn't upgraded the car all the way, or just the tuning aspect of it. But hopefully if once we start getting matched up with a little bit more players, it gets a little bit more even on the starts, and or whenever they do upgrade their cars, they are able to keep up with me and like other people that have upgraded their cars all the way. But anyways, we find ourselves now in podium right behind James. And if you guys remember in the race prior, James did try to take us out, as he did make a huge mistake and ran wide on this corner, pushed us out wide. But luckily for us, we didn't go straight into the barrier or anything like that, and we were able to keep it on the racetrack. So as we finish our first lap here, as we head down into the final corner, James just gets a very, very bad case of understeer heading into the corner. And unfortunately for him, he goes straight into the wall, heads straight into the guardrail, and get a really great run on him. But I kind of want to make this a little bit more interesting, so I decided to give him a bump here, try to see if we can push him up to catch up to the German, get him into the slipstream, and see if we can turn this into a little 3-car battle here between us, the Brit, and the German. And as we head into turn number 1 for the second time here, we stay in the slipstream with James as we try to follow that that optimal line here, go a tad bit wide into the exit of the corner, but not enough to hold the momentum. But as we come into the first braking zone, we spot the braking point right before the 50-meter board. James just uses the German as a brake and hits him off there as he almost goes wide. And as you can see right here, James was able to cover us coming off the corner. And as we lead ourselves now into the treacherous, windy section of the racetrack, we're just keep an eye on James, make sure that if he does make a mistake, he doesn't come back on the track and try to take us out. As he does so right there, goes straight into the grass, misses his next corner, and he heads straight into the barrier. And that is going to be P2 for us, as we were able to get around him without having to really fight him. We just kind of just forced him into a mistake. And now we set our sights on the German right ahead of us. Can we finish this race in first after coming so close last race? We'll see right now, as this is probably going to be our best chance here. So getting back into the braking zone here for the third time on this race. We're closing the gap a little bit on the German, but he wasn't showing signs that he was very, very slow. He was actually pretty quick on around this racetrack, and I was doing everything in my power to try to see if I can close the gap. And as we come into this windy section, I was just keeping an eye on the lines that he was taking, seeing if he was taking wider entrances to maintain that gap against me. And you can see right there that he really didn't go onto the apex, onto that second corner. It looked like he was just taking very, very wide entrances, but again, not taking a tight middle part of the corner. He was also just kind of keeping it a little bit wide throughout majority of that corner, and he was able to actually maintain that gap. So something to keep in the back of my mind on future races. So hopefully we can, learn the optimal line and get quick, so that in case we have to fight someone like this for first place, we can start closing the gap and all that good stuff. But as we continue on here onto the final lap, we make our way back into the windy section of the racetrack, and we were able to gain a tremendous amount of time off of turn number 2. And that 1.1 second gap has now turned into a 0.2 of a second gap, as Moise makes a very, very big mistake going into the right-hander. He goes a bit wide there, but was able to get a really great exit, maintain the gap a little bit, as we tried to use the line that he used the lap prior. And lucky for us, it actually worked out really, really well. We were able to maintain the gap, but we got a really great exit, and we started to now close the little gap that he has between us and him, as we now find our way going into the final corner. So going into the final corner, he decides to take a very narrow entrance, which it compromised his exit and was not the ideal line that he wanted to take, especially on that final corner. And due to that, he almost loses it, puffs out some white tire smoke. And as we come out of the final corner, leading us down to Main Street, it's going to be a drag race to the line. And unfortunately, we're just going to run out of time once again and finish this race right behind Moise for the second time in a row in second place, but only 1/10 off, so about a car length away from getting that win. And which is very unfortunate. But I felt like if we would have been able to put in a qualifying time, if we would have started off somewhere near the front, probably could have finished this race in first. But starting in the rear was a bit more fun, and we were able to have some really good, clean racing. Anyways, guys, that was it for our first races here on Gran Turismo 7. I can't wait till they start adding more daily races, and when we start actually getting real race cars like Group 3 cars, Group 4 cars, Group 2 cars, all those fun cars around some of the racetracks on this game, and just be able to race with some of you guys on this game as well. So if you guys have already played this game, let me know what you guys think about this game. Let me know how you guys have been doing on online multiplayer. Leave it in the comments down below. And again, if you guys really enjoyed the video, feel free to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to catch more GT7 content on the channel. Anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. If you guys did, I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.